Hi everyone, Tina here. It's Thursday, August 10th, 2023. For those of us who like to know the date that the video was made and for our future time traveling viewers. Today, I put up a short earlier that I'm going to talk about Leah Remini and her lawsuit against Scientology. And I just picked up a little bit information. And then I'm also going to cover the Staten Island murder from 1991 of Christine Velasco. So first, let me just go over Leah Remini for a few minutes. So I came across Joe Rogan, and I think it's his YouTube channel. I'm not sure, but it's JRE Snippets. So it's Joe Rogan Experience Snippets. I'm assuming it's his. I don't know. I mean, I'm going to put this link in my description because until I get on to until I get on a platform where I can, what is the live platform? I forget already. Where I can kind of insert clips and stuff like that. And I just wanted to get on here and get this information out. So this is a clip from his JRE Snippets YouTube page, and he's sitting with Leah Remini, and she's talking about a little bit about her childhood and how she got into Scientology. And it pretty much covers what I said before, but it just confirms it, and it's straight from her mouth. So here we go, and I'll insert some commentary in between. And he may be dropping some F-bombs, so it's not me.
The same thing, like, it's pretty normal.
Nice guy.
Kelly Preston's pretty normal. She's normal.
Yes.
You know, I guess you get deeper, get to know them really well, and it might get a little weird. But
yes. Yeah, because the thing is, Scientologists are good people. They really are.
And that's what I said.
Really, as I did.
You know, I believe that people get into these, groups to, better themselves, better the world. It's nobody's getting into these groups. Well, the majority of people, they're not getting into this group for malicious purposes. They're getting into this group to do good. And, that goes for churches, that goes for, any type group or following.
Believed that we were doing amazing things for the world. So they go into it thinking I'm helping myself and I'm helping others.
Exactly.
But then as you, like you said, as you get more and more, and by the way, you don't really get close to Scientologists when you're a Scientologist.
When you're a non-Scientologist.
When you're non-Scientologist, right. Correct. Like everything that I did and they do is for the purpose of setting a good example, being a good person, being a good friend, so to get you in. There's a purpose in that. Like I would never tell when I was in a non-Scientologist my real problems. It would be kind of.
Yeah, so it's an indoctrination, and she goes into that.
Bad for the church to ever appear human.
Whoa.
To a non-Scientologist. It would be setting a bad example. Like it would actually be considered like a transgression. If I told you, Joe, I'm fighting with my mother, I'm fighting with my husband, or I would never tell you those types of things because it would be bad PR for the church.
Wow, so that's something that you're taught.
Correct.
Now, you kind of grew up in it.
Yes.
How old were you when you...
9, I think, when my mother
So you don't
married.
even remember pre-Scientology?
A little bit. And, what I remember pre-Scientology was, I had a very Catholic Sicilian...
So she went from the frying pan into the fire, or from the fire into the frying pan. I mean, because as I mentioned in my other video, the Catholic Church, they kind of align with, a lot of these churches and groups, you have your people at top and they're in there for malicious purposes and greed and power and all that stuff. So here we go.
Father who, believed in punishment, believed in not talk, did I talk to you? I don't know why you're talking to me. Like that kind of guy, right? Like my dad sits at the head of the table and then we don't talk back at all. or, so that is kind of what I knew. And then we were baptized as Catholics because my mother wasn't really religious. My mother's Jewish. She's,
and I knew,
but she didn't have any kind of.
So yeah, I knew that. I wasn't sure. Well, Remini is Italian. Her dad's Italian, and so I knew that. I knew that there was Judaism in her family. That So, but yeah, her mother.
Religion growing up. My father, of course, was Catholic. So we got baptized as Catholics, and the only time we really went to church was with our grandma. We went to visit her in the city, and my dad on holidays. So that's really kind of all I remember pre-Scientology. And my mother meeting my stepdad, he was in Scientology, and he got her in as well us.
Like right away?
Right away, yes.
So that was like part of the deal?
Correct.
Wow.
Yeah, and by the way, Joe, like we went from like don't talk until you're spoken to hey.
Now listen to how they indoctrinate the children. This is really important.
We see you as spiritual beings. We want you to talk to us. We want you to communicate. Like you're not children. You're spirits in a little body. And so immediately that kind of indoctrination begins. That you're not a child. And so, as children, you have kids, they always want to be grown up. So that really starts to work this kind of idea that you're an elitist, that your ego becomes kind of stroked as a kid, like you're very powerful, and you returned and you came back and you found yourself back. You picked your mother because you knew she'd get into Scientology, and you're very strong, Nicole, to my sister.
You picked your mother.
You picked your mother for this reason, to find your way back to Scientology. Now, as a child, remember, you want to be more important than you are. Kids are always trying to exercise their power, So that speaks to something inside of you that, like, oh, I'm bigger than a kid. I'm more than a kid. I'm a spiritual being in a little body. And so it sets up that kind of indoctrination very early on.
Did you like it because it made you, when you were young, it made you feel like, okay, now I can express myself better, now I don't feel suppressed?
Yes, exactly. Because, I'm going from a dad who tells me to, shut the F up and talk when I talk to you, and you sit in that chair and you don't have any thoughts worth listening to you're very much an important being. You're a big being. That's a word that's used a lot, those words, big beings. You're a big being. And so, yes, you start to feel very important. You start to feel that you're powerful. These are not big.
So, when I post this, I hope I don't get copyrighted, but I'm assuming that it's maybe part of fair use, but I'll find out.
Bad things to make kids feel. But this is the way cults work. And you don't realize that, Joe, until you're out. You don't realize any of this was really going on, because I've heard people call it a cult throughout my 30 plus years, and I was offended by it. I was deeply offended by it. And I couldn't even allow myself to believe that I was in a cult.
Yeah, there you go. So they're good at what they do. And they, recruit. So you have your followers and your, foot soldiers, but they recruit people who may understand the workings of the cult but they recruit people who can recruit people, who can target people and figure out, okay, this person is vulnerable and open to, but again, that's just the nature of, that is the nature of a cult and religion too. So I can go on and on about this, but I wanted to go. She has a page on. Hang on one second. Hang on one second. Okay, I'm back. I'm going to insert this in. So it's a page called, or a platform called Substack. And I've never heard of it before this, because on the YouTube channel, growing up in Scientology with Aaron, I know I say that wrong, Aaron, but he had that link for Leah's Substack. So she has statement on there on talking about I am suing Scientology and David Miscavige. And this was from August 2nd. After 17 years of harassment, intimidation, surveillance, and defamation, I am filing a lawsuit against Scientology and David Miscavige. So that's what the lawsuit is. It's harassment, stalking, intimidation, and defamation. And then, they're going to turn it around. And she even said that. She said once she gets this lawsuit up, they're going to turn around and just use the same language that she's using. And by the way, they have not, as far as I know right now, they have not filed any legal response to her lawsuit. But I think she's got a case, she's got a date. So whether it's a hearing or conference, I'm not sure, but she does have a date in November, I think. So while advocating for victims of Scientology has significantly impacted my life and career, Scientology's ultimate objective of silencing me has not been achieved. Although this lawsuit is about what Scientology has done to me, I am one of thousands of targets of Scientology over the past 7 decades. So now, there have been lawsuits out there, but I'm thinking that, and there's still, seems like there's ongoing stuff going on, but it seems like people are not able to withstand the money and power that they have. I think Leah will be able to do it. People who share their experiences in Scientology and those who tell their stories and advocate for them should be free to do so without fearing retaliation from a tax-exempt cult with billions in assets. Billions. The press has a right to report about Scientology without facing a sophisticated intelligence operation from Scientology that could destroy their personal lives and careers. Law enforcement authorities have a right to investigate crimes in Scientology without fearing losing job loss. So, yeah, there was a interview with Anderson Cooper that, was it with Leah or somebody else, that they didn't air because, I guess, of the pressure. Children, mothers, fathers, aunts, and uncles have a right to request welfare checks on their family members without fear of an operation activated against them by Scientology for doing so. Those in the entertainment business should have a right to tell jokes and stories without facing an operation from Scientology that uses its resources in Hollywood to destroy their lives and careers. Boy, you talk about you have your Harvey Weinstein, destroying careers for his own, perversion and gratification and bullying and abuse. So, and if you didn't abide by that, he would destroy your career. I mean, it's just, they get it from all angles. With this lawsuit, I hope to protect the rights afforded to them and me by the Constitution of the United States to speak the truth and report the facts about Scientology without fear of vicious and vindictive retribution against which most have no way to fight back. So the full complaint from her Substack page is linked in the press release. So there is the press release from LR Communications. So Leah Remini files lawsuit against Church of Scientology. August 2nd, today, actress, producer, author, and advocate Leah Remini filed a lawsuit in the California Superior Court in an attempt to end what she alleges are mob-style operations and attacks on her and other alleged victims and survivors of the Church of Scientology and their advocates. The lawsuit seeks to require Scientology and any entity it controls and funds to cease and desist its alleged practice of harassment, defamation, and other unlawful conduct against anyone who Scientology has labeled as an enemy. It also requests compensatory. It also requests compensatory. It's my ADD. Compensatory and punitive damages to compensate Remini for the harm she alleges Scientology has inflicted on her and her career. Wait a minute, what is this? Oh, wait. This is... The full complaint is linked... Oh, wait. What am I reading? Am I reading some kind of response? Let's go back up here. Let's see. Let's go back up and see where I'm at. Oh, did I just lose it? I guess I just lost it. I am suing, so then... Oh, here it is, right here. So... I am not sure who wrote this, if it's on behalf of her or them, because it kind of seems to require, and it's energy control. Okay. It also requests, okay, and punitive damages. Oh, all right. It's just a release. Okay. Named defendants are the Church of Scientology International, Inc., Scientology's leader David Miscavige, and Religious Technology Center, Inc., which the complaint alleges manages policing operations and principally enforces Scientology's punishment orders. So she goes on to say, for 17 years has subjected me to what I believe is to be psychological torture, defamation, surveillance, harassment, and intimidation, significantly impacted my life. I believe I am not the first person targeted by Scientology and its operations, but I intend to be the last. Good for you. The complaint concerns alleged actions of the Office of Special Affairs, OSA, formerly known as the Guardian's Office, including monitoring the activities of Scientologists and non-Scientologists and exacting revenge and retribution on anyone who has been declared an enemy of Scientology. According to the complaint, OSA Network orders a series of directives from Scientology founder, the late L. Ron Hubbard, institutionalized a series of retaliatory actions to be taken against any individual, organization, business, or government entity that Scientology declares it as an enemy. Under the organization's rules, directives originating from Hubbard cannot be changed. The complaint alleges that attacks on Remini were activated by OSA and their operatives under Hubbard's OSA network orders meant to totally restrain and muzzle, obliterate, and ruin utterly her and demonstrate a pattern and practice of harassment, defamation, and abuse. The lawsuit lays out the myriad of ways in which Scientology leaders and agents beginning in 2006, 7 years before Remini left Scientology, allegedly financed and ordered coordinated campaigns against Remini, her family, friends, businesses, partners, associates, advertisers, proposed future advertisers, future employers, and support office staff who have never even met her. With this lawsuit, I hope to protect my rights as afforded by the Constitution of the United States to speak the truth and report the facts about Scientology. I feel strongly that the banner of religious freedom does not give anyone license to intimidate, harass, and abuse those who exercise their First Amendment rights, adds Remini. Good for her. Good for her. So real quick, I just wanted to say that Emily D. Baker is covering this. Court TV will be Vinnie Politan. He's going to have it on his show tonight, so it's starting to get out there now. So it's just been, today's the 10th, so it's been a week. So, stuff is getting out there. And now it's getting tougher and tougher for these type of groups and organizations and people with money to suppress, because the storm of, I guess, social media and the press and, it's just growing bigger than the bullies that are out there, I think. Anyway, so this went a little long, so I'm going to just go do another video about Christine Beluska and her case. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and my little guys are right down there. I will put a link in to JRE, the snippets, his YouTube page, and also her substack link, and I think that's it. So anyway, have a good night. I'm going to be uploading another video as well, but thanks for watching, and always remember to be you. It's a good thing.